Thanks for joining me on episode 680 of the Inspired Stewardship Podcast.
I'm Rob Berger, author of Retire Before Mom and Dad. I encourage you to find your own journey to true financial freedom. And one way to be inspired to do that is by listening to this, the Inspired Stewardship Podcast with my friend, Scott Mader.
It's about making sure that you stay plugged in and connected to people and to resources and to your own internal drive so that you can be there for the long haul. It really is a marathon to move towards it. And instead, what we often do, we make the mistake of we look for the harvest, we look for the reaping way too early.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on the Inspired Stewardship Podcast. If you truly desire to become the person who God wants you to be, then you must learn to use your time, your talent, and your treasures for your true calling. In the Inspired Stewardship Podcast, you will learn to invest in yourself, invest in others, and develop your influence so that you can impact the world.
In today's episode about investing in yourself through stewarding your treasure, I talk with you about why you have to plant many seeds to reap a harvest, what you can do to keep your mindset up while you're doing this, and why we often look for reaping way too early.
As we talk about stewarding your treasures, wouldn't it be great if you could support this podcast and do it without costing yourself an extra dime? Turns out you can. All you have to do is use inspiredstewardship.com/Amazon when you're ready to make a purchase via Amazon, and a small commission will come back to support the show. If you enjoy the show when you're ready to buy from Amazon, just use inspiredstewardship.com/Amazon.
When it comes to money, one of the things that people often don't realize is how slow of a process it can be to really change your attitude, change your behavior, and change the results of money. You know, there's a long lead time often in getting from where we are today to where we want to be. You know, the last couple of Saturday night specials, I've talked about some of the expressions that I use as a coach in terms of progress not perfect and about it's a process, not an event. And those a lot of times come out of the way I approach the handling of time and money. So the truth is that when you look at what you do with money, oftentimes you have to plant seeds for a long time and in a wide variety of ways and in different places to be able to reap a harvest. And the first thing that I wanted to point out is the order there. You plant first and you reap second. One of the reasons that people often can get taken advantage of, they can end up getting scammed or getting bought into something that is a get-rich-quick scheme that then turns out to be a con or a mistake or something that causes them to lose too much money, is because we often think that we should be able to reap the harvest without planting the seeds. We should be able to do it instantaneously. There needs to be an app or a magic wand or a tool or, how can I get rich quick? And honestly, the best way to make your money work for you is not to do it quickly, to let it happen naturally and slowly. And the reason I talk about planting many seeds to be able to reap a harvest is very seldom is it right to just go all in on one deal, to take one thing, whether it's real estate, whether it's the stock market, whether it's a single stock, whether it's a single piece of property, whether it's a single business or a single deal, to put all of your eggs in one basket, to go all in on that is something that works really well in the movies, but not so well in the real life. Planting many seeds in large part is about diversification. It's about spreading out the opportunity and the risk. If you think about it from a farming metaphor, if all of your crops are in one field and that field gets wiped out by a flood, you have no food that year. But if you have several fields or several different kinds of crops spread across those fields, or you have neighbors and others that also have fields, then you might be able to reap some harvest. And that's true of money too. The problem is that our mindset gets in the way. Our behavior gets in the way. We want everything to happen quickly. We want to not have to spend the time and the effort and the process that it takes to really manage our money. We're looking for the get-rich-quick scheme because it feels better. And you have to address that feeling and that emotion and that mindset while you're taking the time to grow your money by planting many seeds. Some of the things that you can do to help keep your mindset up. One is surround yourself with like-minded people. Find people who have the same view, the same willingness to do the hard work and take the time that it takes to make the changes, and talk to them. Don't surround yourself with other people looking for the get-rich-quick scheme, because you're going to kind of move towards the group you hang with. Birds of a feather flock together kind of expression. This is apparently the cliche episode. But what else you can do? You can educate yourself. You can read books. You can look at blogs. You can read Facebook, whatever it is. But be careful about what you let into your brain. Filter those messages. Look for things that have stood the test of time. Look for things that have worked for a long period of time. Don't look for the newest and greatest. Sure, it's fine to put some money in something that is new and going to make a huge difference, but you can't put all of your money in that. It's okay to have some seeds that are planted in risky fields that might give you a high return, but I wouldn't go all in with this. You want to keep your mindset up by feeding your mind with people, with mentors, with coaches, with others who help you focus on that long-term picture. You want to develop a big why, something that's really important to you to reach, something that changes your life. And not even just a money goal, something about how you feel, something about your relationships, how it'll give you freedom. You want to focus on that and see how the little things you do today begin to incrementally increase and move you in that path towards that destination. It's about making sure that you stay plugged in and connected to people and to resources and to your own internal drive, so that you can be there for the long haul. It really is a marathon to move towards it. And instead, what we often do, we make the mistake of we look for the harvest, we look for the reaping way too early. We want to get in and out of things before they've had time to work. This is the people that invest in the stock market, and the first time it goes down, they take out all of their money. That's kind of the wrong order. You're wanting to take out your money when it goes up, not when it goes down. But instead, we get scared, we get emotional, we feel like it doesn't work, and we jump off the roller coaster before the ride is over. We look for the reaping way too early because we think we can plant a seed today and we can harvest it tomorrow. But it takes time. We're looking for the get-rich-quick scheme. That's another way we reap way too early. And oftentimes, we reap way too early because we're focusing all on the numbers and the math, and we're not focusing on the process, on the learning, on the behavior, on the mindset, on the emotion. See, it's not really a math problem. It's a person problem. It's a behavior problem. It's about how you act and how you feel and how you think much more than it is about numbers on a piece of paper. Those numbers are just there to tell you a story, so you can see what's going on, and then you can address how you act. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for listening to the Inspired Stewardship podcast. As a subscriber and listener, we challenge you to not just sit back and passively listen, but act on what you've heard and find a way to live your calling. If you like this episode on the stewardship of treasures, you can sign up for our treasures tips by going to inspiredstewardship.com/treasures or text in the U.S. 44222 treasures tips. And we'll send you 5 weeks of our best tips on stewarding your treasures. Until next time, invest your time, your talent, and your treasures. Develop your influence and impact the world.